Clearing the space for Gemini Risings. Hey, it's Marin, and this is the 2020 yearly forecast for Gemini Risings. So we will start out with the astrology, then we will move into the tarot, the oracle deck cards, and the law of attraction cards to see what is happening on different planes and get guidance for it all. So we'll start out with the astrology, looking at the outer planets. What are the big heavy hitters moving slowly in your sky? And then we'll move into some slower moving or faster moving planets and their retrogrades. So starting out with Jupiter. Jupiter will be in your Capricorn 8th house for almost all of 2020. It moved in there late 2019. Jupiter in your Capricorn 8th house indicates expansion, growth, and opportunity in your shared financial world, which has been hit pretty hard and been undergoing quite a transformation for you these past few years. Jupiter will also be sextile Neptune in your Pisces 10th house, which is an aspect of opportunity, indicating that developments in your shared finances are allowing you to pursue dreams in your career and public image. Those dates where this will go exact and be potent are February 20th, July 27th, and October 12th, where you can expect that to be very highlighted. Jupiter will also conjoin Pluto in your Capricorn 8th house, which is definitely like the lid being blown off of the pressure cooker, or this huge breakthrough explosive energy. So you've been undergoing quite a transformation in your 8th house of shared finances, and this will be this final exaggerated occurrence there. This will be exact on April 4th, June 30th, and November 12th specifically. Jupiter will station retrograde at 27 degrees of Capricorn on May 14th. So if you have any points around 27 Capricorn, those could be pretty focalized for their significations on May 14th. And then on September 12th, Jupiter will station direct at 17 Capricorn. So any planets or points there could also be really focalized on September 12th. On December 19th, Jupiter enters Aquarius, entering your area of your 9th house of foreign travel, higher education, and long-distance authority figures in general. So it will then bring its expansion into that for most of 2021. But I do want to talk about it for a minute, because on December 21st, Jupiter will conjoin Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which is a big collective occurrence indicating the beginning of new thought paradigms and boundary structures being made in this Aquarian, idealistic, Saturnian, more cool, rational mode of existence. This will be happening in your 9th house of foreign travel, higher education, authority, those kind of higher aspirational goals. So there will be a new paradigm occurring there in the end of this year. But for most of this year, Jupiter will be in your Capricorn 8th house, kind of being the final blow to your shared financial world to really erupt in opportunity. So let's move on to Saturn. Saturn is the great malefic. He brings limitations, challenges, boundaries, black and white karma. You reap what you sow. And Saturn has been in your Capricorn 8th house for quite a while now, but on March 21st, Saturn enters your Aquarius 9th house, bringing these limitations and new challenges for growth into your 9th house of foreign travel and higher educational goals. Saturn will station retrograde at 1 degree of Aquarius on May 11th, so if you have any points there, definitely could be hit. And then on Saturn re-enters Capricorn on July 1st. It will then station direct at 25 degrees of Capricorn on September 29th. So if you have anything at 25 Capricorn, that will be hit in the end of September. And then on December 17th, Saturn re-enters Aquarius. So Saturn during this year will be going back and forth between your 8th house of shared finances and your 9th house of higher dreams and long distance travel. So you can expect those themes to be where you're getting your lessons. Now let's move on to Uranus. Uranus is the great liberator, the Promethean awakener, the spirit of really upgrading through explosion, and it is in Taurus. It's in your 12th house of self-undoing, of meditative states of exile, and you might feel like you really need to do a psychological overhaul on how you're managing your internal world. On January 10th, Uranus stations direct at 2 degrees of Taurus. If you have any planets there, definitely could be highlighted. And then on August 15th, Uranus stations retrograde at 10 degrees Taurus. Again, anything there will be focalized, but this will be a year of both revisiting and making new changes in your psychological state. Pluto, let's move on to Pluto, the great transformer, crisis, explosion, both atomic bomb and macro. It's this breakthrough to break down crisis energy, and it is in your Capricorn 8th house. It's firm and steady there. It's not going anywhere. So on April 25th, Pluto stations retrograde at 24 degrees Capricorn, and then on October 4th, Pluto stations direct at 22 degrees Capricorn. If you have anything at 24 or 22 Capricorn, those bodies will be especially highlighted for the transformation that is still ongoing in your shared financial world. It's really taking a beating to be rubbed soft and be rubbed raw for baby soft skin, basically. So with that being said, for the major outer planet transits, let's look at the retrogrades of the inner planets. Retrogrades are times when planetary significations are inverted, delayed, or turned inward. And let's start with Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde, reversals of communication, of plans, of intellect, of technology, times of 3 weeks, 3 times a year that aren't a big deal, but they are times to maybe avoid signing contracts and things like that. So for you, on February 16th through March 9th, there will be a Mercury retrograde in your Pisces 10th house and Aquarius 9th house. So avoid the communications or contracts in your career world and in your long distance travel or educational world as well. June 18th to July 12th, there will be a Mercury retrograde in your Leo Cancer houses, of your Leo 3rd house and your Cancer 2nd house. So this will be covering reversals regarding short-term travel, siblings or writing, or also your own personal money. On October 14th through November 3rd, there will be a retrograde in your Scorpio 6th house and your Libra 5th house. So this has to do with health, daily routine, and coworkers, or romance, children, and creative projects. You might want to stay off of making plans around that for October into November. There will be a Venus retrograde from May 13th until June 25th in Gemini in your 1st house. So with Venus retrograde in your 1st house, you might be definitely revisiting some self-identity aspects, some old ways that you used to look physically. Could also be attracting an old partner into your life, especially regarding you and your physical body. Watch out for making any new steps towards harmony with women regarding you and yourself this May into June. There will be a Mars retrograde from September 9th until November 13th in your Aries 11th house. So watch out for going back and trespassing amongst friends, coworkers, in an organization, networking in general. Watch out for networking drama this fall. I would definitely stay away from like returning into old wounds around networking in your 11th house of that group organization world. So let's go over the eclipses. Eclipses are where the evolutionary energy is headed in your life. Where are you learning through grand new growth in that area? This is a transition year between having eclipses in Cancer, Capricorn in your 2nd house, 8th house axis, into Gemini, Sagittarius in your 1st house, 7th house axis. So it will feel a lot less, it will be the final transition between the growth being in your financial world into the focalization being between you and your relationships and partnerships. So starting out on January 10th, there is a lunar eclipse at 20 degrees Cancer, a full moon culmination of something in your financial world. And then the next eclipse is not until June 5th. There's a lunar eclipse at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. This sounds like a final ending, a culmination of a certain relationship paradigm going on for you around 15 degrees Sag. And then on June 21st, there is a solar eclipse, a new moon at 0 degrees Cancer. The final huge fated new beginning for you and your financial world to take place. On July 5th, there is a lunar eclipse at 13 degrees Capricorn, a final release for shared finances or a culmination for a shared financial deal that is finally ending on a high note. On November 30th, there is a lunar eclipse at 8 degrees Gemini. This is a full moon, a culmination regarding you and your physical body or something regarding your identity that you are ready to show to the world this November. And then on December 14th, there is a total solar eclipse at 23 degrees Sagittarius in your 7th house. This is a big new beginning, of relationships in your world, whether that's romantic or just a partnership one-on-one. Expect something fated to come your way this December. So with the astrology out of the way of definitely highlighting your shared finances coming to a head as a chapter and beginning to look more into your dreams and foreign travel plans, let's look at what the tarot cards are saying for 3 cards representing the first 3 parts, or the 3 parts of 2020. So the first part of 2020 is represented by the Queen of Wands. She is trying to emotionally connect with her passions, and she's filling you up with the vigor to go after the dreams. I think the beginning of 2020 is a new beginning for what structures you want to create in your long distance travel plans, or like your like wanderlust kind of mood. So for the second part of 2020, we have the moon inverted. The moon is discerning what reality and dreams are. She is deciding, she's figuring out what's real and what's not. And with an inverted, middle of 2020, be careful about not being honest with what is carrying your mind away and taking away from actually grounding you in what you could be doing to be healthy with yourself. Finally, for the end of 2020, we have the Ace of Wands inverted, which is signaling that maybe the end of 2020, you're unable or not aligned with your passions or going after exactly what you want. This could also mean simply rethinking what the passion projects you have are. So now let's look at a head, body, heart spread from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. So for the head card, we have the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? I think you're having to rethink what your limiting beliefs are, and there's probably a lot of limiting beliefs with you around abundance, or not a lot, but with all the shared financial world highlighted, where are you believing that you don't deserve total, absolute nourishment and abundance? For the body card, we have to answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? There's the beginnings of new activity in your foreign travel world. I think there might be some itches for you to change physical location and find enchantment and excitement somewhere else in the world. Finally, for the heart card, we have no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. I think this has to do with that Ace of Wands inverted coming up, that this is not the time for the dreams to come to fruition. This is the time to cultivate all the cooperative components for understanding how you can best manifest what you need, and understanding that dreams aren't necessarily like obvious. Like maybe you need to reconsider what it is you really are dreaming of. Now let's pull a Law of Attraction card for more insights. I attract the essence of my thoughts. The law of attraction and its magnetic power reaches out into the universe and attracts other thoughts that are vibrationally like it and brings that to you. And so you are getting the essence of what you are thinking about, whether it is something you want or something you do not want. This completely goes in line with you understanding what limiting beliefs might be hindering your abundance with relationships, with relationship finances, and then finally, just following your dreams. What is the essence of your thoughts, and how can you more refine and articulate that to support your personal growth for getting what you want, no matter how far away it seems, because it's not if it's in your thoughts, this 2020. So with that being said, I hope this was helpful. If it was, like, subscribe, do all the things. It really helps out, and I would love to read for you. Private consultations and astrology down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.